point
country,
is
too.
that Donald Trump is a white supremacist. He is generating nativist language to appeal to genetic basis of behavior. That is a classic definition of what we mean by white supremacy.
He has
We said he's
repeated
not
this
talking
lie
about a specific
for
race.
8
One at a
years.
time, please.
He has repeated this lie for 8 years, that immigrants are in some way more prone to criminality, that they're less human, that they have bad blood, that they have bad genetics. I don't understand how you can mince words around the racist nature of
He's
that.
not saying all.
Hello, everybody. We got Abby Phillips today with CNN and a panel here. We talked about it on this channel before, right? This is their #1 issue, right? Racism, immigration, and those connections that they're making. They're desperate, right? And they know, right? When they're pushed up against a wall, racism is that thing that will get their base to go vote and in droves, right? We'll take a look at that exchange in a moment. Guys, please consider subscribing, leaving a like. It would really help push this message out there and get these clowns out of office if we can. But yeah, let's get to that exchange.
Today, there has been an effort to make it seem like Donald Trump is saying something about immigrants when all he is commenting on are the violent murderers who are in the country. It's simply not true what's being said about him today. And I can't believe, honestly, what I'm hearing. I've seen people all day long attacking Trump because he's worried that we have 13,000 violent murders.
But he's calling attention. There are white people in this country who are committing far more murders than immigrants and other Americans.
There's also white immigrants in the country, too.
The point is that Donald Trump is a white supremacist. He is generating nativist language to appeal to genetic basis of behavior. That is a classic definition of what we mean by white supremacy.
When I talk about why does he keep doing this, it's because this is not the only time he's talked about this. He has said broadly that immigrants are poisoning the blood of this country. So that has also happened.
That's literally a white supremacist trope, by the way.
But I mean, you can't explain that away.
I think what Scott is saying is absolutely accurate when it comes to this being very unfair. There have been many cases when I'm on your show and other shows, and I will call out when I think it's wrong. But in this case, I don't think that's what he was saying. This goes back to that nature versus nurture debate. This has nothing to do with race. I don't care whether it's a white person, a black person, an immigrant, an American. Somebody who kills somebody may actually have bad genes, and that's been studied for many, many years. We don't want people murdering people in this country. I don't care whether they are born here or they come from somewhere else. And we certainly, when we already have crime problem in our country with people who are born here, we don't want 13,000.
He's not making that argument.
We don't want over
He's not making that argument.
We don't want over 400,000 convicted criminals coming to this country and staying here for decades because, as we all know, we have a broken immigration system in which we have a court backlog that extends up to a decade, maybe more.
He's not making that argument about people who are here.
Surely everyone at this table knows that the rate of immigrant crime is actually lower than the rate of crime by U.S.
So you're okay with 13,000 murderers being in the country because of the rate of crime?
That's not really how it works.
This is the thing. These guys know that Trump is not just commenting on the murders in this country, right? He's trying to make a connection, right? A correlation of immigrants in this country and murders and crime in general sense, right? And for Scott Jennings there, this is just a piece of garbage, completely flabbergasted, or acting like he's completely flabbergasted as to why the media is calling Trump out on this racist rhetoric when he's just so innocent, right? He just wants to know about the crime. Like, he getting frustrated and sighing like a little brat and can't even look at Eric Dyson. These guys really piss me off. It's just an extra sign of disrespect. They act like they can't see what we all see. Like, we're the fools. Like, we're the morons or erratic. We're the ones with the erratic behavior. And like, these guys are going to keep pushing out this 13,000 number thing. We talked about this, right? This 13,000 murders or whatever. When this number is based on 40 years. People, right, over multiple decades, including Trump's, right? They just won't admit it. They just won't admit that because it doesn't have the same, right, sound. It just sounds better this way. And giving that extra context, right, that doesn't help their argument. But guys, let me know what you think in the comments below about this whole issue. It's insane to me how Republicans get away with this. Oh my God, Democrats are so aggressive and violent. Look how they're calling Trump racist. Hey, remember, he almost got assassinated. Please stop talking about him like that. It's just complete nonsense, guys. Let me know on the comments below. Let's get to the rest of that clip.
Well, considering that we've seen the numbers quadruple of the people coming in, we may not
What
be
about
able
the people here? This is my point. What about the genetic makeup of people who are already
I
in
have a
America
problem with that
who are
too.
doing that?
And guess what? We don't want them here out in the streets free
Why
either.
isn't it articulated? Why isn't it repeated?
Because
Why
he's
isn't it
talking
made the basis
specifically about the
for his
open
argument?
border. He's not
Because
talking
he's
about
a
murderers
white
in general.
A moment ago, you said he wasn't talking about immigration. Now you're saying he is talking about immigration. The fact is,
He's
he is
asking why we're
lying.
not talking
He got
about
asked
other
about
criminals.
immigration.
He got asked
He got
about
asked a question
immigration.
about it.
You
The reason he
know,
was talking
Scott,
about
you
it,
know
Scott,
full
is he got
well
asked
that
about
he
it.
has
We said he's
repeated
not
this
talking
lie
about a specific
for
Guys,
8
one at a time,
years.
please.
He has repeated
you.
this lie for 8 years that immigrants are in some way more prone to criminality, that they're less human, that they have bad blood, that they have bad genetics. I don't understand how you can mince words around the racist nature of
He's
that.
not
He
saying
was
all
asked about.
immigrants, and
He
he's
said.
not racist.
He
His
said
wife's
when
an
he came
immigrant.
down the elevator, he said that Mexico was sending their rapists and their murderers. They're sending people
And these
who are
stats would tell
seeking
us that a lot of
economic
rapists and murderers have
at
gotten
a
here.
lower rate than natural born
you're-
So
citizens.
you're okay with them if it's a lower rate? That's the most ridiculous
I'm
thing I've
okay.
ever heard.
I
We
don't wanna
want rapists and
scapegoat
murderers
immigrants.
here. It's
I
not a
don't-
scapegoat.
Well, we
don't.
don't
If it's
scapegoat
preventable,
immigrants.
if it's preventable that
let me
people
let
come
the
across the
senator get
border.
in here. Go ahead, Al.
We don't go like, okay, you're a rapist, you're in. You're a rapist, you're okay, come on in. That's not how it works. I mean, these are people who are not brought in knowing that they are rapists. So there is such a thing as it turns out that, and I don't know, and I think Abby's right. This is over decades. And so many of these rapists came in when Donald Trump.
And so why haven't we gotten them out? That's the problem. I mean, if some of them have been not only convicted, they've been deported, and they're still roaming the country.
That is not true.
No, some of them have been convicted of murder outside of their
custody.
countries. We find out about it later,
Madison,
then they get deported, and they're still roaming the nation.
The
That's a
numbers that you're
fact, Abby.
referring to,
There are many
those
more white
migrants
rapists in this country
are.
than immigrants will ever account for.
Trust me,
Michael,
I don't want any
Overwhelming
rapists in this
information
country.
of
Michael,
white
hang
men
on
to
one
be
second.
seen as the perpetrators of violence that is extraordinary in this country is well documented, but you don't appeal to a genetic basis. This is classic white supremacy, and your justification of it is an extension of that logic.
No one's talking.
That's exactly the issue, guys. If these crimes that they're so worried about are being committed at a high rate by Americans, why aren't they going after them? Why isn't Trump calling them dirty, or they're poisoning the blood of the American people, of the country, right? And it's because it doesn't have the same effect it does on their base, right? The base loves attacking people of color, and immigrants is just the cherry on top, right? And this is just a way of simply justifying being racist, right? It's saying, hey, these guys, look at the crimes that they're committing. Look at the crimes when they're committing them less than the people already here, right, guys? Like, this is insane. It's nasty. It's disgusting, and it has to be pointed out, and it has to be pushed back on with vigilance, guys. But let's get back to the final exchange of this panel. You don't want to miss this.
Let me just play, just so that people understand. We've been talking about Trump's comments about immigrants over a course of time. He's been talking about this for a while, and talking specifically about basically people's genetic makeup of the people who are coming to this country. Listen.
Nobody has any idea where these people are coming from. It's poisoning the blood of our country. They're poisoning the blood of our country. They're poisoning our country. A lot of it's about the genes, isn't it? Don't you believe? The racehorse theory, you think we're so different? You know, I believe in the racehorse theory. Fast horses produce fast horses.
This is an old thing. This is an old that you can identify who's a rapist by their color and by their immigrant status. I think this is offensive.
I love that reel that Abby Phillips played for them. Like, how can you justify that? That's why they sat there in silence. The fast horse produces fast horses. I mean, we all know what you're trying to say by that, right? It's essentially people of color, immigrants in this case, are predispositioned to commit crimes, more prone to committing crimes. So if you believe that, what does that mean? Should we be all locked up by birth? Like, guys, this is dangerous. This is disgusting stuff. And this stuff has been used by some of the most evil and disgusting people in American history, or human history in general. But guys, I'll leave it there. I'll keep making videos. Please check out my other videos. Subscribe, like, comment, you know the whole shebang, and catch you on the next one.